Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time. I am your host, Joshua Stonecutter. You can tell that something isn't right. You can tell that something isn't right, but you can't quite put your finger on it, right? Let me tell you something. I just said this on my Facebook Live. They are walking around amongst us. These people, they're walking around amongst us, and they rely on narcissistic abuse to handle people, to talk to people and stuff. I'm going to talk about what's really going on. Let me go ahead and first say welcome to all the new subscribers that we have, all two or three of them, which they're probably just bots, you guys, or they're probably, some of them are people that are into what they call witchcraft and stuff like that. You see, I'm seeing now that I was supposed to get with the whole group stalking targeted individual thing. I was supposed to get distracted and led astray like a gazillion times. I can't even tell you how many times. It's how it's designed. It's just how it's set up. I was never supposed to get to the truth. I will say that. Let me grab some water real quick, and then I'm going to go over the topics with you. I don't like to do I don't do any editing with my show. There's something fishy about people doing takes and breaks and stuff. There's people I know that do podcasts and things like that for Florida cannabis, and it's filled with so much editing, you guys, because there's all this stuff that they can say and they cannot say. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have anybody telling me what I can and can't say. It's actually a little bit scary. I've wondered. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that right now. So let me tell you something. If you're going through this, if you're watching my show, if you're wondering, what's going on, if you think that you are targeted, this is my first topic. They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us. Ain't us. You get it? They hate us because they ain't us. And that's funny on many different levels if you've been watching since my November 6th episode. If you guys gotta watch my YouTube November 6th episode. It's Remember Forever, the 6th of November, especially if you are a family member. And the reason that's so funny and so creepy is because it looks like the family that I was with. I'm not saying this is the case, you guys. I'm just saying this is what it looks like. It looks like there might be a bunch of like intergenerational, like, I was even thinking today that this baby brother of mine that passed away, that might be my cousin Michael. They may not have that baby may not have passed away. That might be my cousin Michael. I don't know. I'm just theorizing, right? I think that Samuel, my 2-week old brother, probably did pass away. So if you're going through this targeted stuff, that's what's going on. They hate you because they are not you. They hate you because they are already enslaved to this thing, and there's nothing that they can do about it. Some of them love where they're at. I'm serious. They love where they're at because they're so caught up um in the physical aspect of it, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be stuff or whether it be substance abuse, it's usually the abuse of people from what I've found and what I'm seeing. Uh it's like all these people that I grew up that were just shaming me about substance abuse. And you know, they knew why. They had a good feeling why. Why does this why does my son why does my son have a substance abuse problem? Don't tell him it's because, you know, we've been giving him ketamine and tranquilizers, because I think that's what happened. I'll never be able to prove it. You know what I'm saying? What it would take is somebody else admitting to it, somebody else, which probably is never going to happen. But so, and this has happened to like all of us. This is why they don't want people watching my show, because my story is your story. Because if you grew up going to a Baptist church or a Christian church or a Catholic church or probably a Presbyterian church or a Episcopal church, or I don't know, I'm just Pentecostal is what I was thinking. Pentecostal. Yeah, my story is your story. And these characters that I have behind me they probably look really familiar to you for a reason, and that's why they're here. I've got Obi-Wan Kenobi, we've got Luke Skywalker, we've got another Luke Skywalker, then we've got Princess Leia down here in the cast from Stranger Things. So I got that mainly because of Eleven, the character 11, which I really relate to. If you're a targeted individual, you are an 11. You are a Luke Skywalker. Do you see what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons they don't like you. I don't know if you came out of a womb or not. I don't know if I came out of a womb or not. I know that they really, really, really want me to believe that I did, though. They really, really, really. I mean, they literally have pictures of what I'm supposed to believe is my head coming out. They're disgusting, you guys. And I didn't realize how mentally traumatizing seeing pictures like that are until like I read about them in a Psychology Today magazine. You see, for the last like 10 years or so, I've basically been like researching like mental abuse and like mental health, and every step of the way I've stumbled across these things that are like bizarrely horrible, and I've always related to them in some way, and it's always creeped me out, and I just kind of backed away from it, you know. So what's really going on? Okay, this is what's really going on, and what they're not going to tell you in the news is that the P stuff, the S stuff that I'm talking about is going on at every single church in America, virtually. I mean, I'm talking like, I think 100% of them, maybe like 98 or something, all the ones that you're thinking of. And throughout this journey just recently, over the last couple of weeks, as I've gone trying to find friends and family to talk to them about what I'm remembering, oh, they already know. This is the creepy, this is the weirdest and the horrible thing about it. And there's people that have friended me on Facebook that have yet to see my live that are probably gonna watch and be like, oh, because it's getting creepy, you guys. I'm starting to have a hard time finding friends and family that will even talk to me about this stuff, because it looks as though they're all participating in it. That's what it looks like. And now I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it looks like. Because I'm like, look, I'm not crazy. You can see me sitting here talking to you right now. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm a little bit chatty. I have some real horrible memories. But no, I'm not crazy. I'm not hearing voices. I don't think there's people after me. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Oh, the hate is because the and is if you're going through the targeted individual thing like me, this is what you need to realize. Your friends are not your friends. Period. Your friends are not your friends. The people that you think are trying to help you are not. If you have somebody telling you that you need to go to therapy or you need to go see a therapist, that person doesn't like you. That person's trying to get you painted as crazy or mentally unstable so they can take advantage of you in some way. I don't even know how. This has been my personal experience, and I'm telling you, it's yours too. You just don't realize it yet. So your friends are not your friends, and cover your cameras. You guys, I have mine uncovered right now because I'm filming, but as soon as I'm done, as soon as I think about it when I'm done, boom, they're covered. They sell camera covers. You can get them on Amazon. Cover your cameras. Which leads me to the next topic, narcissistic abuse. We're going to talk about it every episode. We're going to touch on it real quick. This is what narcissists do. They spy on their victims. They spy on their victims. I'm saying this because I already know. I already know that from my family, immediate and extended, they've put me, and I know this. I know that they have, you guys. I know that they have. I am on the Department of Homeland Security's watch list. Not because I've done anything, not because I'll do anything, but because I have abusive people in my family that are effing with me, and they continue to spy on me, that just like they're spying on you. And it's classic narcissistic abuse. They want to know what you know. They want to know what you know. All right, let's move on to the next topic. We got two more topics. The next topic is multi-purpose. That's the topic. The topic is multi-purpose. That's the subject, multi-purpose. And the reason we're talking about multi-purpose is because everything, okay, this is what you guys need to realize, and this is what most of you already know, and I'm sure a lot of these people are just watching this self-discovery, and it's like, ha ha ha, watching all these lights come on for me. It's still, this is my journey, what I'm saying? This is my journey. So check this out. What I've seen and what I've learned over the years and what I know now is that everything out there and everything that you see, for the most part, especially in the big cities, like the major metropolitan areas, it's all multiple meanings and it's all multiple purpose. It's all multiple purpose. So when I hear things about like a big free concert in the middle of Florida, something makes me real nervous about that. Nothing's free, right? I know that it's being advertised by an attorney, whatever, but everything's multi-purpose. That's why I believe, in the last topic is the underground, so this will be good leading into the underground, but like, that's why I believe that there's probably something going on underneath us, and they probably have cities lined up with our major metropolitan cities. And these things that they're talking about that are portals are probably just like holes in the ground where you can get from one level of the earth to the next. Just an idea. Now, and there's a lot of evidence out there for it that I'm seeing with my own eyes. Now let's talk about, and that goes into the multi-purpose thing. What are these churches being used for? Like, what are they going to be used for? Because the churches own a lot of land and a lot of like big buildings, and they knew a long time ago that this was going to happen. Like, they knew when they were being constructed that this was going to happen, something like this. They knew that they were going to get emptied out. So they're planning on them being used again for something. Do you see what I'm saying? And they're probably planning on them being used again for like this fake revival that's going to come along with the spaceships from outer space, right? And so what I'm going to say to that when that happens is, cool. Like, yo, man, I've been like talking about this since I was in high school, like aliens, right? But there's a few little problems that I'm seeing. I need one of y'all to take me to the moon. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to tell him. Because I call BS. I mean, I don't know really how else to say it. I just call BS. I call BS on the whole thing. So, now we are talking about the underground. Okay. Now let me talk about the underground a little bit. Here's some things that you need to know about the underground. Now, keep in mind, like, this is just me being me. Like, I don't really know these things, but I feel like I do. So I'm sure that I'm going to be right about some of them. This is what's going on the underground. First off, let me say hello to all the people in the underground, because this is how they're doing it. They don't connect to the stats up here. So like, who knows how many people from the underground are really on my Facebook Live, or how many people from the underground really watch my YouTube, because it's probably airing on a totally different network or something like that. I don't pretend to know how it works, but I do know that they're watching. I can tell. I can tell. I can tell because I'm out there working on the streets, and I don't think this is something that's in my head. I do believe that that the people who are who are doing all this whatever, because I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. I don't care what they're doing down there. Well, to an extent, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care, but like, they are there. Believe that. You know what I'm saying? I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Everything's multi-purpose. The whole reason that I'm call it the underground, and I like it being called the underground, is because of this stuff sitting right here, the techno. You guys don't understand. Let me tell you, like, because you guys have heard my story about the house I grew up in. I haven't told you all the details about it. My dad had two gigantic wooden um, boxes in our living room. They were really big, and each one had a huge 15-inch speaker in it and multi-range speaker horns and tweeters. They were huge and bassy. So I got really big into like listening to like heavy metal and hip hop and stuff like that. And then as I got older, when I moved out of my parents' house, as I was moving out, slash, excuse me, getting kicked out, I was really into audio, right? I was really into sound. And at the time, I was playing the drums. Then I got into the techno and I started listening to it. This is Sasha and Digweed's Communicate album. And then this is a classic. Everybody knows this one. Like I have 2 or 3 copies of this. This is a Rabbit in the Moon, Florida. Let me take a moment to show you this because this is really cool. I'll show you the inside of this. But look at all these pictures in here. You can maybe go back through this and pause it for yourself or whatever, but I'll show it with the light. There we go. So a lot of these pictures are in Gainesville at Simon's, the club that I used to go to. A lot of them are at, I would imagine, in Jacksonville. I think the club up there was Evolution. There's people that I know in these photos. There's a lot of people I know in the photos in here, and that's a thing that they did in the sand on the beach in Florida. So there's some really good tracks on there. But anyways, that was always all the underground. Like, and I was saying in the last episode, this is the underground. Welcome to the underground. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I believe that those big raves that I used to go to, those were multi-purpose. And look, I don't know what was happening at those because I was going there and like taking a bunch of what I thought was somebody could have been very easily giving me something that would make me black out for like 20 or 30 minutes there. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like how many, like, it looks like I'm the oddball out here. So all the times I was going to those raves, I may have blacked out for a half hour, an hour. They may have hung me up by my ankles and flung me around on the ceiling or something and done some crazy ritual right there. And then I come to and I think that I just blinked and that the record skipped or something. I mean, I don't really believe that it was that extreme, but this is what I think was probably really going on, because at the time there was not that many raves in Florida, in the United States. Like, they started out as these underground things in these warehouses, right? And then by the mid 90s they were moving into these clubs and whatnot. Well, that's where I come in. I started going to them in the late 90s. I think that they're there, and they still are there. The whole electronic music scene is there to test different sounds and sound frequencies and the effects that it has on people. Because, like, basically, if you are on a bunch of psychedelics or you're on a bunch of like MDMA or something like that, or mushrooms, you're gonna have like a more visceral reaction to music than you would if you were just sitting there totally sober. So, and like, sounds that you don't like will clear, like, if you're playing a bunch of stuff that people don't like, it'll clear out the dance floor. They'll go to like another area where there's different music. You know what I mean? So I think it's a testing ground. I think it's a place to turn souls. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's what this is all about, you guys. This is all about trickery. This is all about the same stuff that we read about growing up. You know what I mean? They're playing. What are they really playing for out there? Gold? No, they're playing for our souls. So turn souls. It was also a big S party, afterwards. I think, like, I never really got into that, but it was just a big party, like a partying like you'd never really like even imagined before. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes like the party would go for 2 days. Like, we would show up on like a Friday night and wouldn't leave until Saturday afternoon. Do you see what I'm saying? It was nuts like that. Like, just, and it was so much fun. We had so much fun. I had so much fun because for me, it wasn't about like trying to get laid or trying to do anything other than have fun. That was the reason I was getting effed up. That was the reason I was partying, or so I thought. It was to try to, no, it was to try to like discover something. I was searching for something. And just recently I realized what that something was, you know what I mean? And I've known it for a long time. I just didn't want to look in those places, those dark places. I also think that it was also possible and still is possible that these big parties, these big raves are covers for underground drilling. Also, the space shuttle launches and like when it breaks the sound barrier and all that stuff, that could just be cover for them clearing out huge tunnels and explosions and stuff like that. It's it's possible. I do believe it was a place for them to test different drugs and substances because the type of MDMA was always like changing, and it would usually be like MDMA and then like something else would be in it too that would like make you trip out or something. So I think they were testing a lot of substances. It's scary what they were testing. I don't know. Who knows? But it was at the University of Florida. This is a huge rave club in the and it's like it's still not that known. It's not that talked about. It probably never will be for that reason. Like I always thought it was just like for whatever, but like oh no, I think there was a lot more to that crazy dance club because I mean, like I said, there wasn't that many places on the East Coast. There was down in Fort Lauderdale, New York, and Gainesville. Those were the first three. Those were the first three clubs, and I think there was one out west in LA. And at the time, you're all students, you're young, you think these things are happening organically. You would never think like, oh, all this stuff is connected, and it's to introduce this. The main drug that it was to introduce was MDMA. That was it. That was boom. I mean, and I don't know if you've ever taken that MDMA, like, but it's serious, and it's. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? But it's epic. It's epic. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't say it's bad. You know what I mean? It's bad to abuse, just like anything else. But it can be used in therapy. So all of these things that we're talking about, all these things I talked about, they're all surrounded and buffered by lies. Um, they tell us that the Earth is round. It's. I'm sure it's something like that. It wouldn't check this out, you guys. It wouldn't surprise me if the Earth is like, you know, attached to something and spinning around, and it has like a root to it, just like a tree. Check this out, you guys. Why can't we go down to Antarctica? Why can't we fly around down there? Maybe there's not a big hole in the ground. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe there's a big tree coming out. Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe we're spinning around. Think about all the snow globes that you've seen, the shake 'em up snow globes and stuff. Think about it. That would mean that other planets, quote unquote, would just be like another branch on the tree, potentially, in theory. Do you see? I don't know. It's just a thought. I'd like to go on the other side of the Earth and see what stars I'm looking at. If I'm looking at the same stars on the other side of the Earth, then like something, or maybe I don't understand all this stuff correctly. But anyways, let's see here. I think those are all the topics. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for my new subscribers on YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll go ahead and end my YouTube here.